So she's
I mean,
a
they
serial
sound reasonable.
fraudster due to the fact that she seems like a rather person.
Who else? Who else has a question?
I have a question.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds.
Hi.
Hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
Hollywood thrives on spectacle, but sometimes the real drama happens when the cameras stop rolling. Right now, a whirlwind of rumors, legal battles, and whispered secrets is shaking the entertainment industry to its core. On one side, you have actress Blake Lively, known for her graceful public persona and glamorous red carpet appearances. On the other, you have Justin Baldoni, widely respected for his positive outlook and philanthropic endeavors. In between stands a film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel, It Ends With Us, a story that deals with the weighty topic of domestic abuse. Suddenly, that compelling narrative has been overshadowed by allegations of sexual harassment, defamation, and a barrage of controversies that seem to grow more explosive by the day. How did we get here, and why are fans of both camps feeling so betrayed?
Really not done. So to be honest, what really happened is we were like, we're going to show the movie, and the studio was like, no, you're going to show 20 minutes. So we're like, no, we're going to show the movie. And they're like, it's not done. And I was like, shoot. They're like, if everything's not perfect and it's not done, and what if we're going to change things? I was like,
we want it to go
I literally
well.
brought the movie with me on the airplane. Like I have like a folder with like a disc, like a hard drive.
From behind-the-scenes conflicts to primetime television jokes that left everyone stunned, this clash has ballooned into an industry-wide spectacle, one fueled by social media outrage, legal depositions, and a swirl of questions about who's really at fault. If you think you know all the details, think again. Each day reveals a new twist, exposing just how entangled personal ambition, corporate influence, and carefully cultivated celebrity images can become. Buckle up as we dive into the events that brought these two powerful forces to a collision point and find out why this lawsuit could rewrite the rules for future Hollywood showdowns. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni didn't seem like natural rivals at first. Their initial partnership was greeted with applause by fans of It Ends With Us. The book's emotional storyline about domestic violence called for a respectful and nuanced adaptation, and many believe this team would deliver exactly that.
His agent is Ari Emanuel. He's a powerful Hollywood guy, and we all respond to Hollywood power. And there's a hypocrisy and a fraudulence there that the public is picking up on. And so that's really interesting.
After all, Blake had built her brand on relatable glamour and philanthropic gestures, while Justin was known for his heartfelt content and advocacy for empathy. It had the makings of a dream collaboration, or so everyone thought. But rumors of friction appeared almost as soon as production kicked into gear. Some on the inside hinted that Blake wanted more creative control than expected, especially over how the film would be marketed to the public. Justin, protective of the original material, allegedly pushed back on changes he saw as diluting the book's serious themes. On the surface, no one outside the industry circles noticed the clash. Yet subtle signs seeped out. Cryptic social media posts from Justin about collaborative misunderstandings, a few evasive comments from Blake about wanting to feel truly heard on set. While these whispers never made front-page news at first, they planted seeds of skepticism among fans who follow these stars closely.
He does a better job, in my opinion, of providing receipts and showing full context. He really sees this all the way through and makes sure we get to discovery and proves how disgusting some of these high-level celebrities can be.
The tension simmered in the background, waiting to erupt. It would eventually explode, not just into the public eye, but into a courtroom. And once it did, there was no going back for either party. Little did they know, the real firestorm would ignite outside the set, reshaping both their careers in ways no one anticipated. The tipping point arrived when Blake Lively filed a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. Suddenly, every whisper of tension between them became front-page news. Headlines screamed accusations of workplace discrimination, sexual harassment, and an orchestrated smear campaign against her. In legal documents, Blake alleged she'd been subjected to a hostile environment after voicing concerns about how certain scenes were handled and how promotions were run. Furthermore, she accused Justin of personal retaliation, using his industry connections and media savvy to tarnish her reputation after she pushed for changes he supposedly resisted. Justin's camp shot back instantly, labeling her claims defamatory and tactically motivated. He countersued Blake for defamation, invasion of privacy, and emotional distress. He insisted her allegations were a calculated move to seize control of a film she'd never truly owned, all the while painting him as a villain. Court papers and public statements suggested that Justin believed Blake was enraged at having her creative input diminished. And the more she tried to force her ideas into the project, the more he dug in his heels.
When I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled. So I think that for them, sometimes that might have felt like a rug pull, because you're trying to assert yourself into something that we didn't hire you to do. And so it was a really strange position to be in, because I felt like I don't want to just be an actor. I want to have more authorship.
The lawsuit set off a frenzy among fans, journalists, and Hollywood insiders. People speculated about everything from nepotism to deeper power struggles in the industry. Were Blake's complaints rooted in genuine misconduct, or was she weaponizing accusations to strong-arm Justin into complying with her vision? Depending on whom you asked, both narratives had supporters. Regardless, one thing became crystal clear. This was no ordinary celebrity spat. Legal experts weighed in on morning talk shows, fans raged on social media, and the studios behind It Ends With Us found themselves scrambling to manage a PR nightmare. As tensions escalated on the legal battlefield, the film's fans were stunned to learn that the real conflict might lie in the marketing, and how it pulled focus away from the novel's deeper themes. While Hollywood elites followed the legal feud, It Ends With Us fans took an entirely different offense, feeling betrayed by the film's marketing. Colleen Hoover's book delves into serious territory, shining a light on domestic violence and emotional trauma. Readers who'd connected deeply with that raw story were furious when they saw promotional images that felt more akin to a breezy romance. Glossy posters, cheerful interviews, and upbeat teasers did little to address the dark core of the material. At first, fans blamed the studio, assuming executives wanted a mainstream marketing push that overlooked the heavier themes. But soon, rumors trickled out suggesting Blake Lively's own production influence, and perhaps even her personal brand, played a major role in the promotional decisions. Around the same time, she started showcasing her new hair care line and referencing her alcohol brand during interviews meant to spotlight the movie's narrative.
I would say another reason that the public didn't respond well to this was because we have already accurately deduced that the both of you are raging narcissists.
The optics were jarring, addressing domestic violence on one hand, then turning around to peddle hair products and cocktails on the other. Many saw this as tone deaf, accusing Blake of prioritizing personal profit over the sensitive issues at the heart of It Ends With Us. Social media erupted in disapproval. For some, her actions symbolized everything wrong with Hollywood's approach to serious stories, the quest for a glitzy campaign at the expense of emotional authenticity. Whether that criticism was fair or not, it stung. Suddenly, the actress who'd filed a lawsuit claiming harassment and emotional trauma looked to many like she was distracting from the film's message by hawking merchandise. Blake fired back in interviews, claiming that Sony had dictated the film's marketing. But Justin's team leaked documents, or so they claimed, suggesting the promotional blueprint actually came from Blake and Ryan's own company. Fans felt misled, fueling more speculation that her lawsuit had less to do with exposing wrongdoing and more to do with controlling the narrative. By the time the dust settled, one truth was undeniable. The public image of both the film and Blake's cause had been severely damaged. Amid this uproar, Ryan Reynolds stepped into the spotlight, putting his trademark wit and a few pointed jabs on national display. Ryan Reynolds has always been seen as the lovable wild card, sharp-tongued humor, endless charm, and a massive social media following. But his connection to Blake Lively is far more than marital. They share business ventures, projects, and a collective influence that extends well beyond typical Hollywood power couples. As Justin Baldoni's countersuit named Ryan, people started wondering just how involved he'd been in the behind-the-scenes drama. Did he actively help push Blake's interests, or was he just a convenient scapegoat? Speculation quickly grew that Ryan had been dropping thinly veiled references to Justin for months. Fans pointed to the comedic cameo in Deadpool where a character famously quipped about a nice pool, reading it as a subtle dig at Baldoni's last name. Internet chatter went wild. Was Ryan using mainstream films to troll Justin? While some shrugged it off as conspiracy, others insisted it was further proof that the lively Reynolds duo was unafraid to confront Justin publicly. But the moment that really captured everyone's attention came during a high-profile Saturday Night Live anniversary special. Surrounded by comedic heavyweights Amy Poehler and Tina Fey, Ryan was part of a scripted Q&A. When it came time for him to speak, he brazenly asked, "Why? What have you heard?" A line widely interpreted as referencing the swirling legal drama. The audience laughed on cue, but it was a jolt to see him poke fun at allegations that were anything but trivial. In the realm of public opinion, this was either a clever comedic jab or an ill-advised decision to trivialize a serious situation. Coming so soon after Blake's emotional accusations, Ryan's quip seemed to confirm critics' worst suspicions that the couple was using comedic deflection rather than confronting the gravity of their claims. The question now was whether this joke would backfire, legally, morally, and in the court of public perception. Little did anyone realize, Ryan's SNL moment would pale in comparison to the shocking red carpet appearance that followed. Shortly after the SNL special, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds made a show-stopping entrance at another major industry event. Cameras flashed, reporters clamored for quotes, and the pair seemed entirely unbothered by the swirling controversies. This seemed bizarre to those who had read Blake's lawsuit, where she portrayed herself as a victim grappling with crippling anxiety, grief, and fear caused by Justin Baldoni's alleged actions. If she was truly overwhelmed by emotional distress, why appear so cheerfully at a massive public function? Even more perplexing was the couple's seating arrangement, front and center among industry titans like Steven Spielberg and Kevin Costner. For someone claiming her career was in tatters and her reputation was ruined, Blake still appeared to be in the highest of Hollywood's high circles. The contradiction fueled online debates. Was her presence at these events merely a contractual obligation, or did it reflect an actual lack of distress, hinting that her lawsuit was exaggerated? Legal analysts were quick to point out how detrimental this could be to Blake's case. If you file claims of severe emotional distress, a judge and jury might expect you to shy away from the spotlight. Yet here she was, smiling for photographers and indulging in conversation as though everything were normal. Worse still, Ryan's comedic stance on the SNL stage looked more and more like a coordinated strategy to downplay the seriousness of her allegations. For Justin Baldoni's legal team, this was a gift. Footage from these events could be used to argue that Blake's claims of emotional harm don't hold water if she's still maintaining a high-profile public persona without any sign of fear or anxiety. By simply attending a lavish event and laughing alongside A-list peers, she handed Justin's lawyers what some considered a powerful counter-narrative. Maybe the entire victim portrayal was a strategic move. Of course, Blake insists she's telling the truth. So the question becomes, did Justin's alleged retaliation push her to the brink, or is she facing backlash of her own making? Central to Blake Lively's lawsuit is the claim that Justin Baldoni orchestrated a vicious smear campaign, deploying his team to spread rumors, release misleading statements, and fuel public outrage against her. If proven, these allegations are no small matter. Any form of retaliation against someone who complains of harassment is taken seriously by courts and could lead to massive legal consequences for Justin. But his defense paints a starkly different picture. Justin's lawyers assert that he merely responded to Blake's accusations and that the negative press she's experiencing is mostly organic. After all, she openly mixed her brand promotions with interviews about a film tackling domestic abuse. Could that alone explain the backlash from fans who found her approach insensitive? Possibly. Justin's team would argue that public disapproval, rather than a coordinated smear effort, might account for why headlines took such a negative turn. Consider the timeline. The controversies began brewing when fans caught wind of marketing materials that felt out of touch with the novel's darker themes. Blake's persistent product plugs during press tours only fueled the critics. By the time the lawsuit emerged, social media was already ablaze with frustrations, making it difficult to pin the blame entirely on Justin. And then there's the looming question. If someone really was the target of a massive harassment campaign, would they appear on primetime television making jokes, then march down the red carpet at high-profile events soon after filing suit? Skeptics say no. Supporters, though, might argue she's trying to salvage her career by proving she can still function professionally. Regardless of where the truth lies, the conflicting narratives underscore one reality. The line between personal missteps and possible retaliation is razor thin. And in Hollywood, it's never simple. The stakes only grow higher when you consider the power dynamics within Hollywood itself, which might be the ultimate deciding factor in how this case plays out. Hollywood is famously insular. Deals often hinge on who you know, and reputations can crumble from a single scandal. Justin Baldoni may not have the star wattage of Ryan Reynolds, but he's no small fry. He's produced successful projects, cultivated relationships with top-tier producers, and built a carefully polished public image focused on empathy and social consciousness. That track record adds weight to his denials. Blake Lively, meanwhile, has navigated the industry for years, forging her own alliances and brand partnerships. Together with Ryan, she forms a power couple who can greenlight projects, sway corporate sponsorships, and dominate headlines with a single public appearance. This level of clout is precisely why Justin's countersuit implies that if anyone is exerting undue influence, it might be the Reynolds-Lively duo rather than him. Observers point out that if Blake were truly blacklisted, another of her lawsuit's claims, why are top studio executives and legendary filmmakers still giving her face time at marquee events? In a town where rumors can close doors overnight, it's peculiar to see her receiving continued support from influential players. This contradiction supports Justin's argument that her career is far from destroyed. Of course, the reality could be more nuanced. Maybe certain professionals do feel uneasy about working with her now, but the glitz of star-studded events masks that damage. Or perhaps Hollywood power brokers are hedging their bets, waiting to see how the lawsuit resolves before making permanent choices about future collaborations. What's undeniable is that the couple's choice to keep making public appearances, often in playful, seemingly carefree ways, sends mixed signals. And that inconsistency in signals isn't just about optics, it's rapidly becoming a legal liability, too. So, how might this legal war end? Several scenarios loom on the horizon. Blake proves harassment and retaliation. If compelling evidence, texts, emails, eyewitness accounts emerges validating her claims, Justin Baldoni could face severe reputational and financial repercussions. Courts typically don't look kindly on retaliation following harassment complaints. What do you think? Could Blake's claims be genuine while she simultaneously mishandles her public persona? Or has Justin been scapegoated for blowback she brought on herself? Let your voice be heard in the comments. If you want to stay updated on every twist and turn, remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. The full truth may still be elusive, but rest assured, every move in this high-stakes legal battle will be watched, dissected, and debated for a long time to come.